How's it going? It's Jesse here, and I'm going to show you a unique, dead simple, foolproof hug technique that you can use on any girl you like when you greet her to make her instantly feel 10 out of 10 horny for you. Now, I've been using this hug hack for years now, constantly tweaking it, refining it, testing it on dozens and dozens of women, and I've taught it to hundreds of my VIP clients, and they've all had great success with it. And for the first time, I'm going to share it with you right here, right now, in its finished form. And you can use the simple hug hack on that female friend that you've been quietly eyeing from a distance and flip that switch in her to make her want you in new ways. Or you can use this simple hug hack on a first date with a girl you've met online to turn that casual meetup into that night you're never going to forget. Heck, you can even use the simple hug hack on that girl at church who seems untouchable and turn her into your biggest admirer right after the sermon. And this is especially great if there's a big age gap between you and the girl. Needless to say, guys, you must use this horniness getting cheat code with caution. I want you to use it with discretion because I'm about to put a great power into your two hands. I do not want you abusing this. In fact, I'm almost hoping that this video doesn't get hundreds of thousands of views like I usually get. Because honestly, we don't need this getting out to too many men because women are just going to be hooking up and getting attracted to dudes that they have no business hooking up or getting attracted to. Now, for me personally, I'll typically only use this on a woman on a first date when I want to take things to the next level and get there quick and get there fast. I'm not using this on female friends of mine. I'm not using this on some other dude's wife or some married chick. I'm not using this on my friend's hot daughter. And I suggest that you try to keep your conscience clean as well. So in light of that, and to keep this simple, I'm going to talk about this hug hack in the context of a first date only, where you show up to, say, a coffee date, you spot your woman there and she stands up to greet you. You walk on over to her and boom, she is instantly hooked. You make her instantly horny right away, where her body is screaming out, I want this man. Although you can use this in any situation with any woman, whether it be a classmate or a female coworker or that gorgeous stranger. Now, first off, what this hug does for you is you get physical with the girl right off the bat, within that very first second of meeting her, right? You're breaking that touch barrier with her right away. And this creates a sense of comfort and familiarity with touch, like she's known you forever and ever, even if you've just met. Second, the way you execute this hug, it gets that woman chasing after you. That's right, it gets her chasing after you, where you are the evaluator of her. You are making a decision about her. And I'm going to show you how that works in just a moment. And number three, and most importantly, this hug sets off that sexual spark. It gets her feeling horny. It gets her feeling those tingles up between her legs because you're going to be doing much more than merely hugging her at the end. And look, you have to greet the woman anyway. You're going on a first date. You're going to have to greet her. You see an old female friend. You have to greet her. You're in a class. There's a classmate there. You're going to have to greet her. You're going to have to greet the girl anyway. So why be lame about it? Why be like every other forgettable, boring guy? You might as well make her feel horny and get her chasing you a bit while you do it. So it's an absolute no-brainer to do this. And listen, gentlemen, at the end of this video, I'm going to explain the psychology in the woman's mind of why this move is so damn powerful, why it's so successful, and why it took me so damn long to uncover this and figure it out, and why it can look like complete magic to a guy who doesn't know what's going on. Now, most guys, when they greet a woman on a first date, they go about it in all the wrong ways. They're like, oh, hi, nice to meet you there, right? They're way too formal. Like they're stepping into some business meeting, or they're too meek, they're too defensive, they're too reserved. They're assuming an unfamiliarity with the woman, almost like she's a stranger. Remember, guys, how you greet the girl sets the tone for the whole rest of that first date. How you greet the girl sets the tone for the whole rest of the interaction with her. So you want to do this correctly. You want to do it right. You do not want to make the same mistakes that every other guy on the planet is making, and you want to listen exactly to what I'm about to tell you. Remember, gentlemen, how you greet the girl sets the tone for the whole rest of that first date. How you greet her sets the tone for the whole rest of that interaction. So you want to do it right. You do not want to make the same mistakes that every other guy on the planet is making. Now, by the way, if you are awkward around women, if your first dates keep going nowhere, if your female friends just see you as this harmless, impotent, nice guy, just another guy she barely notices, it's time to crush that nonsense forever. Go right here to youngerpartner.com right now, because I've been coaching men like yourself for over 20 years. Men who are ready to rewrite their story. And I use my own unique system of visual neural programming to get inside that head of yours and completely rewire that outdated belief system from top to bottom, to break you free from all the awkwardness and all the insecurities that are holding you back and emerge as this magnetic, confident, dominant man, the kind of man that women cannot say no to. Because listen, these younger women, they're tired of young guys their own age who are broke, immature, unreliable, selfish, glued to games, lack drive. And you, as the older guy, you are the upgrade. You have a lot to offer these younger women that younger guys simply cannot compete with. It's just a matter of learning to get in front of the right women and do that consistently and reliably, and learning how to spark that attraction inside of them and close the deal with a little bit of confidence and finesse. And if you play your cards right, you can absolutely smoke the younger guys every single time and finally start dating those women you really want. Simply go right here to youngerpartner.com and let's destroy that old, lonely version of yourself and replace him with that man you are meant to become and get you that relationship you finally deserve. So now, getting back to the hug, here's the thing you got to keep in mind. This is why we want to start off that interaction or start off that first date by hugging the girl. You want to get physical with the girl from the very first moment that you see her. And the reason why this is so is because the longer you wait to get physical with the girl, the more awkward it's going to be to do it later. Again, the longer you wait to get physical with that girl, the more awkward it's going to be to do it later. Like if you were to wait 20 or 30 minutes to suddenly reach out and try to touch the girl, that touch, that reach can come across as weird and awkward. And the girl's going to be like, hey, hold on, what are you doing here? Because you did not establish that you were a physical guy right from the start. So what I do, and I recommend that you do as well, is from the first second, give the girl a hug right away to set that precedent of touching her and to establish immediately that you are a physical, touchy kind of guy. So what I do on the first date, when I first catch eyes with that girl, what I do is I open my arms big and wide. I got this big smile across my face, that big Hollywood celebrity Tom Cruise smile, like I'm happy to see her, like I'm relaxed, like I'm seeing an old friend, and I'm loose. I'm just letting go of all the tension. Again, I'm assuming familiarity, like I already know her, like I've known her for years, and it's all no big deal. And then I'll say to her with my arms outstretched for that bear hug, hey, Jenny, right? I'm stretching out the vowels. Hey, Jenny, how are you doing? Warmth in the voice, positivity in the voice. And then I go up to her and I put my arms around her. And then you've got for yourself two different options here. You can give her a hug a little bit lower down around the waist, or, and this is how I usually do it, I give her a hug around her shoulders, a little bit higher up. So it's more like a brother to brother hug, where the vibe is a little bit more like, hey, what's up, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. Now, what you're doing here is you're creating this burst of charged excitement on the one hand, and also creating this sense of familiarity on the other. Like you two have known each other forever and ever and are completely at ease and completely comfortable with one another. With this wraparound bear hug, you're also leading the girl physically, and you're kind of dominating her physically as well, which is displaying a ton of attractive, high-value traits right off the bat. Now, we're not quite at the point where you're going to get her horny yet, but you do need to bear in mind a couple things with this hug greetings. First, when you see her, you don't want to have these two big flashlight eyes and the Joker smile, like you're super excited to be seeing her and hugging her, right, guys? Don't be over the top. Don't act like you've never seen a pretty girl before in your life. Just be loose, be casual, have that big smile. You want to have warmth and positivity in your voice, but you do want to be normal about it. Voice delivery is absolutely key as well, guys. You don't want to sound nervous. You don't want to sound meek. Like, hey, Jenny. You want to have a loud vocal projection where you throw your voice with warmth and positivity in the voice. Kind of like you're seeing an old friend that you've known for years and you're just happy to see her again. And you're not shy about expressing it. You also need to assume, guys, this is very important. You got to assume that she's going to hug you back. You need to assume that girl is just going to roll with it. Because if you go into that hug half-hearted, kind of thinking maybe she might reject you, that makes it feel awkward and weird. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you go in confident and cool about doing the hug, she's going to be cool with it. But if you go in there weird and you just half commit to the hug, you make her feel weird about it because she's going to sense that maybe you're doing something wrong. So this is the secret to making any kind of big, bold physical move work, like a hug. You need to 100% commit to it. You need to 100% commit to making that big, bold physical move. Because if you just go in there half-hearted with a half commitment and you act weird about it, like, hey, Sarah, you make the girl feel weird about it, right? If you go in there assuming that she's gonna reject you, now there's a possibility that she might. So you've got to assume that she's gonna roll with it and that she's gonna hug you back. So you need to go in there with 100% certainty that she will hug you back. And when you do it with that kind of certainty, that's when you actually make it happen. And now here we get to the good part. This is where we're gonna make things a little bit sexual and start to set off those sexual sparks and get that woman a little bit horny. So as you draw away from her, as you pull away from that hug, what you're gonna do is run your fingertips very lightly down her upper back. And you're gonna run your fingertips along the back of her arms, right? Along her triceps. And as you pull away, you're gonna drag your fingertips along her forearm and then along her palm. So you're just dragging your fingertips all the way along this whole route. And what that's gonna do is set off those light sexual sparks with that light touch. Now, alternatively, what I've done before is while you're hugging the girl, you want to read her energy. You want to be conscious of her energy. And if the vibe is good, if she's got a big smile on her face, she's happy to see you, she's clearly enjoying that hug, what I've done before is I make a second, additional, big, bold physical move where I just pick the girl clear off the ground when I hug her. That's right. When I hug the girl, in that moment, I'm kind of reading her vibe. I'm reading her energy, checking it out. And if I feel it's good, I'll just lift the girl up off the ground. So our feet literally come up off the ground. Now, gentlemen, for some women, a big, bold physical move like straight picking her up off the ground is a very strong, powerful attraction trigger. Some girls just absolutely love to be picked up off the ground. They love that sense of losing control and being physically dominated. Of course, we're talking about some girls here, so you do need to calibrate to the girl and calibrate to the moment. So what I recommend you start doing is dragging your fingertips down along her back, along the back of her arms and her palms, and any guy can do that. You can start off with that. But when you want something a little bit more bold, try picking her up off the ground. It is an absolutely boss move, and some women go absolutely crazy for it. You can even have the girl ready to sleep with you right then and there if you do it correctly. Now, some guys might be like, what are you talking about, Jesse? There's no way I can pull off a move like that. But that can be a limiting belief put inside your head by other people, like your teachers or your parents, and we can start to program your brain to remove those limiting beliefs. So you can start to actually pull off big, bold physical moves like picking a girl up off the ground, just like I'm talking about. Go right here to youngerpartner.com. We can hop on a call together and let's see if getting you coached is the right move for you. Now, here's how to get that girl chasing after you immediately when you meet her. What you're going to do is as you're pulling away from that hug, you're not going to let go of her hands. You're going to keep holding her hands, but you're going to take a step back and you're going to give her the once over with your eyes. You're going to look her up and down like you're evaluating her, right? So you're setting the frame that you are the evaluator by the way you're looking at her with your eyes. It's you making the decision whether she is worthy of you or not. And that's the frame you want to set right at the beginning, especially on a first date. So again, what you do is you take a step back as you pull away from the hug. You still got her hands in yours and you say to her, hey, let me take a look at you. Or, hey, let me see you. And you just give her the once over with your eyes. You just look her up and down. Or alternatively, if the vibe is right, if she seems like a happy, compliant girl, what I'll do is I'll lift her arm up. I'll take her hand, lift her arm up, and I'll give her a halfway spin. I turn her halfway around, and I just look her body up and down once with my eyes, like I'm evaluating her. And that really sets the frame from the start that I, as the man, am the one making the decision here. Now, to follow that up, if I do give that woman an evaluating look with my eyes, what I do next is I qualify her with a compliment. So I'm going to say something like, hey, Jenny, you look absolutely fantastic. Or, hey, Jenny, I love the outfit. It's very bright. It's very colorful. Hey, Jenny, you're looking stylish. Love the dress. Love the shoes. Hey, Jenny, you are absolutely glowing here. Now, I'm not a huge fan of throwing out compliments to women like it's easy candy at Halloween, but giving a woman one, and I'm talking about one, only one, guys, one like compliment up front can help put that woman at ease, can help make her feel more comfortable, especially if it's on a first date. I mean, if she's meeting up with you, it means she likes you. If she's showing up on that first date, it means there's something about you that she likes. Because if she truly did not like you, she would not show up. So I want to put her a little bit at ease, to let her know that I'm happy to see her, to let her know that I think she's good looking, and establish verbally that this is a man to woman interaction, that I am a sexual man looking at her as a feminine woman. So now you can truly see everything that we've accomplished in those first few seconds so efficiently. You can see all the emotions we brought that woman through. First, we draw that woman in for a big, bold physical move, the hug. And that hug establishes a sense of familiarity, like we've known each other forever, and we're physically leading the girl. We're physically dominating the girl, and we're breaking that touch barrier with her right away. We're also giving her a burst of charged excitement, where we're setting the tone right away also that everything is at ease, that we're completely comfortable with each other, and that we can touch each other, and it's all no big deal. Second, we create a sexual spark, either by dragging her fingertips down along her back, along her triceps, along her forearms, along her palms as we pull away. Or we can make a second big, bold physical move by simply picking that girl up off the ground as we hug her, which some girls go absolutely crazy for. It is a nuts attraction trigger. They go absolutely bananas for it when you do it. And third, we set the frame that as the man, we are the evaluator. We set the evaluation frame, that we are the chooser. By taking a step back as you pull away from the hug, you keep holding on to her hands, and you give her a once up and down with the eyes. You look her up and down. Or you can lift her arm up, give her a half turn, and just look her body up and down once. And then fourth and finally, we create a little bit of comfort. We create comfort by qualifying the woman, by giving her a light compliment. So it's a little bit like punch, 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 punch. 4 different emotions all in a row in quick succession. So first, we hit her with a little burst of charged excitement, followed up with a little hit of sexual tension, followed up with the feeling that she's being evaluated, following up with a small hit of comfort. So bam, 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 all in a couple of seconds, done immediately when you first see her. And that sets the tone for the whole interaction. That sets the tone for the first date. And what's more, because you've already broken through that touch barrier with the hug right off the greeting, now you can easily keep touching that woman throughout the date, throughout the interaction, without it being weird, without it being awkward, because you've already touched her. It's already happened. So you can easily keep touching her. And that's why it's so important to touch the woman right away as soon as you greet her. All right, since you've enjoyed this video, you want to watch this one next. How to turn on that female friend of yours in 3 minutes flat. Maybe you got a female friend you kind of like, you got your eye on her. Well, these are the simple steps to get that woman horny and do it quickly. And you want to combine what you learned in this video here with what you learned in this video on the hug and the greetings. You combine these two both and you will be supercharged to finally get with that female friend and make her like you.